up 2.86% for the day. Is Infrax Systems Inc. something you need on your watch list? Let's find out. Hello, and welcome to Focus on Investing, where we focus on investing. Today, we're going to take a look at Infrax Systems Inc. You know, we like to give our propers. So let's pull this up and see whose today's request was brought to us by. So today's request was brought to us by Brian, who asked us to check out IFXY after seeing our CYBL video and said it's a beast. Thank you for your comment, Brian. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna check out today and find an undiscovered gem, hopefully. So let's get into start with the fundamentals first. If I pull up there we go. This is the Infrax Systems website. So let's find out about what Infrax Systems Inc. does. So they say that our plan is to build a portfolio of revenue generating product brands. Oh, let's go back. Revenue generating product brands to develop new sales channels and increase brand awareness and revenues. All right, let's see the next one. MI Pulp acquisition. M or Me Pulp. I don't know how you would say that. Me Pulp is an. Let me come back again. This time, I wonder if I can stop the timer. Probably not. All right. Me Pulp is an US master importer and distributor of specialty nostalgic food and beverage products catering to the Latin American market segment. Me Pulpe, I guess, generated over $22 million of revenue in 2021, and the company is expanding rapidly to other crossover market segments with new and exciting products. All right, so they appear to be some form of importer of specialist food and drink. I think they've got a section here with their latest tweets. They've got a message from the president, so the president is at least actively commenting in some form or fashion or being reposted. More about their stock here. It looks like IFXY shareholders, thank you for all of the support thus far. Now that the paperwork merger process is completed, we will begin to update everyone on company progress and plans. So it appears that they've just had a merger. I think the merger might be with this Me Pulpe, this Me Pulpe company. All right, let's see what else they have. They have Infrax Systems Inc. completes its acquisition of Me Pulpe, just as I was saying. It's right here. So this is their recent acquisition on August 2nd, and it was thanking the shareholders on August 5th. We go back a bit. So they were just speaking about shareholders, their attorney making changes before the acquisition. So around August 1st, 2nd is when the acquisition of Me Pulpe has happened. Okay, so let's find out a bit more about the Me Pulpe acquisition. Me Pulpe is a US master importer. We already read this. It's a repeat. Yeah, this is a repeat of the text above. All right, let's go to the About Us section. Let's see more about Infrax Systems. So about we are. I think it's supposed to be who we are. I don't think it's gang affiliated, so I don't think it's who we are. So, so about us, Infrax Systems Inc. is a brand incubator and accelerator. We are dedicated to maximizing shareholder value through strategic and targeted acquisitions in undervalued and high growth markets. Our plan is to build a portfolio of revenue generating product brands to develop new sales channels and increase brand awareness and revenues. Okay, so what it appears to be is that a brand incubator and accelerator. So anybody that doesn't know what an incubator and accelerator is essentially like if you have a company that's really like a startup company, it's a smaller company, and you want to take it to another level. So what these kind of it's kind of like a growth fund, I guess is the way in which you can describe it. And what they will do, they generally provide, finance, but not always finance, but generally some kind of finance in terms of a loan. Then they will provide expertise, also maybe connections. They might connect to somebody in the industry that can help the brand grow even more. They might have expertise with somebody that's had experience in that industry. So that's generally what incubators do. So when they're saying they incubate and accelerate, and they're accelerating the growth of the company from an SME, or what they call a small medium enterprise, into like a bigger company. So they appear to be giving some sort of finance, and once the company grows, they probably have some equity, and then as the company grows, the Infrax um, Systems Inc. ends up receiving, part of the returns from the actual share that they have. And it's because they're saying shareholder value. So that for them saying shareholder value, it feels to me like there's some kind of investment fund sort of side of things, right? Although we know that, regular companies can have shareholders, the fact that they're like an acquisitions company, it kind of sounds like there's some sort of investment fund that incubates and accelerates companies. But at the same time, which is interesting, it seems like they have some kind of system that allows them to have like revenue generating sales channels or something like that. So something to do with, some kind of system that these businesses that they grow can utilize, that maybe helps them to grow more. So maybe it might be some kind of sales funnel or something, plan of revenue generating products to develop new sales channels and increase brand awareness revenues. Maybe, or maybe it seems like they're kind of, or maybe the actual acquisition of the company is the actual sales channel, right? Maybe their new sales channel is the acquisition of these companies. So maybe they only just incubate and accelerate, and maybe they don't have something in there. But very interesting, because they've particularly picked the segment of food and drink, which is perishables, which is generally a good market. Anything that is, perishables is a good market because it's repeat customers, right? Thing with perishables is like you don't buy it once and that's it, finished. Um, like something like maybe a car, you might buy it, and say you buy the new Benz truck, you might have the new truck, you will hold it for, depending on, how flossy or swaggy you are, you might hold it for, a few years, almost. Some people have their car 10 years or more. And then the next time round, you might not buy a Benz, you might buy a Beamer. So, they're not perishable products. Whereas food, you buy it 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks at best, you might get out of some food, and then you have to, buy some more fresh food. So the fact that they're in perishables is like a high turnover in terms of products. Generally, perishables don't have a high price point, as opposed to like a Mercedes Benz. But again, you're getting the more sales volume because of the perishableness and the need to resupply the goods and services. So so niche food and drinks they've got. Let's go more into their companies and go into this Mi Polpe. It says D2 Tierra a tu casa. Now, I don't speak Spanish, which I'm assuming this is Spanish. Casa, is that not house? I'm not sure. If you speak Spanish, then put the translation in the comments so we know what it means. All right. So it says, "Who are we?" Mipopa is a US distributor of food and beverage products who has been catering to the Latin American segment and expanding rapidly to other crossover market segments with new and exciting products. Okay, so they specialize in Latin America. So it's a specialist segment. Um, do we want? Yeah, it's not too long, so we can read this. Competitive advantage. Their competitive advantage is we import only leading brands in categories that are of interest to our clients. You need a specific brand we don't carry? Tell us what it is. We will directly do the negotiation in Central America with the direct manufacturers and apply our financial lines of credit with recognized financial institutions in the regions to import the volumes and brands you need at a competitive price. So, importer, distributor, and point of sale to end consumer meet margin and profit targets. And at the same time, we give the end consumer a fair competitive price compared to any other alternative. So that's quite interesting, actually. So, what they're saying is that, say for instance, you want a specific brand that's only available in Central America, but you want to import it over here. Again, you might be like me, you don't speak the language, you don't have the connections in the country, you don't know where to go to get it. What you can do is you can contact Upolopay, and what they will do, like say for instance, it might even be like a local brand. I spoke about small to medium enterprises before. Let's say for instance it's a local brand making some kind of local beverage, right? And you're a major, you know, some form of food and drinks company in the US, and you want to get the products from this smaller, you know, might even be like a mom and pop sort of situation or something on those level company. You know, you want to make a big order because you have lots of customers, but the issue is, you know, they might not be able to supply it. So what they're saying here is that they have they can go to this meat polypay can go to the country in Central America, go to the manufacturers, he said, with the direct manufacturers, and they can apply lines of credit. So basically, they can give them funding with recognized financial institutions in the regions that they have. So they've got connections with banks in the regions that will give these businesses funding in order to meet your order, and then they can import the volumes and brands you need at a competitive price, right? So that the sale to the end consumer meets margin and profit targets, right? And then they can give the end consumer a fair and competitive price, right? So it's quite an interesting concept, you know. I'm just thinking about, you know, other places around the world where this could be done, where, you know, you have local tradespeople, but they can be opened up to a wider market. So very interesting, very interesting. So their mission, we believe that our responsibility to excuse me, we believe that our responsibility to customer satisfaction does not focus exclusively on the sale of a product, but in the total relationship that creates a client to interact with our company. We believe in honest transactions and provide high quality products at reasonable prices. And then we've got I'm assuming that's going to be Spanish translation. Yeah, the rest of it is Spanish. Okay, so they got pictures of what they have. Can we bring this up? Oh, so this is the actual website, the Mipolpay. So they've got these Mirinda, Raptor, Burst Tropical, Mipolpay Galata Camprina, Mipolpay Semrita Redonda, Mipolpay, I'm trying to do my accent, Mipolpay Semita Laga, and Mipolpay Semita Diema. They also do parsnip roots vegetable chip, tropical cassava root vegetable chips, batata root vegetable chips, toe trick. So they've got a few different brands. It's not like they just have like one brand. I think they have a range of brands from that area. Bonbon coconut, bonbon yogurt, bonbon big dolce twist, surtido, and bonbon big dolce twist, sodito 10. So, you know, a good few amount of brands, drinks, sports drinks. It doesn't. I don't know if that is part of them, but yeah, apparently it is. Um, okay, interesting. All right. So we've gone through the company website and seen what they have to offer. Let's have a quick look at the team. So meet our team. Jose Pinada is the president of Infrax Systems Inc., founder of Mipolpe LLC, 20 million plus revenue 2021. Jose has been a serial entrepreneur for over 20 plus years, establishing many successful companies across the hospitality, supply chain, and fintech industry. So he's the president of Infrax System and he's the founder of Mipolpe, which is interesting. So did he start Infrax System and then invest in his own company? or did the merger, was he brought in from the merger to become the president of Infrax System? Interesting. So Corey Cooley, CEO of Infrax System. Mr. Kerry Cooley has nearly 30 years of experience leading and mentoring emerging growth companies after founding a software, I'm going to assume it says company. I won't bother go reading more. But this is probably the incubator side. He probably leads the incubator side, which is Kerry Cooley. And then Marco Villar, who is the CEO of Mipolpe. So, okay, so Jose Pinada is the founder of Mipolpe, and Marco Villar is the CEO of Mipolpe. Marco Villar has been in mass consumption and distribution for over 20 years and has led a sales team in Latin America as well as the US. And it goes on to say in various, I don't know what the rest will say. Okay, so those are three people they have on their team. Marco Villar, okay, mass consumption and distribution. That sounds shady to me. Mass distribution in Central America. Okay, okay. Okay, Pablo Villar. All right, let's not play them around. Let's go and look at OTC and see what OTC is saying about Infrax. Where are we? OTC. So we're looking at OTC markets. Now let's look at Infrax, which is IFXY Inc. And see what we see on OTC. So we see 0.0035, open 0.0034, daily range between 0.0033 and 0.00365, volume 6,877,704. Nothing about dividends. Let's go down. We'll take a look at the charts in a minute. The technicals. They've got some trade data here. So what is the news? Infrax System Inc. completes its acquisition of Mipolpe LLC. We already knew that. So Infrax Systems Inc. announces the Mipolpe acquisition is expected to close. Okay. Infrax Systems Inc. announces agreement and plan of merger to acquire food distribution Mipolpe. So all the news is basically around their new merger and acquisition. And then what their filings are, supplemental information, change of control. So I'm assuming the change of control was to do with the merger. Let's see if we can have a look at this. It has popped up. Let me share it with you guys so you can see it. Let's see if we get a bit more information about what happened with the merger. I think it's this one, yes. All right, there we go. Infrax Instant Purchases is complete 100% of membership of Mipolpe, Florida Limited Company from a sole member. So they used to be owned by Alnos USA. Alnos is controlled by Jose Pinada. Okay, so Influx bought it. So, okay. So basically what happened was Jose Pinada is the founder of Alnos USA. They are the ones that had Mipolpe, and Mipolpe was merged with Infrax, and therefore Jose Pinada became part of the Infrax team as the CEO of Mipolpe. So he kind of already was president of it, just under a different umbrella company. But since Mipolpe moved to had a different umbrella company now, which is Infrax, he then became CEO of Mipolpe. Okay, so that makes sense. So Jose Pinada, I think Jose Pinada was also the founder of Mipolpe. I don't know, that doesn't, there's something happening there. I'm not sure about that. Jose Pinada, president of the company. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. maybe you guys could, if you guys want to get kind of deeper into the fundamentals of the history of this company, then you can check it. So Alnos USA is owned 40% by Jose Pinada, 40% by Juan Diego Zelaya, and 20% by Marco Villar. Okay, so they owned 60% together. Alnos assumed control from Christian Management LLC, which is owned and controlled by Kerry Cooley. So this is the development guy. Okay. So they bought, geez. So this is quite technical now. So what they're saying is that Mipolpe was owned by Alnos. No, Mipolpe was owned by Christian Management, which is owned by Kerry Cooley. This is our development guy, business development guy. Jose Pinada and Marco Villar, aka Pablo, those two own a company called Alnos, and they assumed control of Milpolpe from Christian Management LLC, which was owned by Kerry Cooley. Now, once Alnos assumed control, then Infrax merged and assumed control of Mipolpe. But Infrax is also now owned by Jose Pinada, Pablo Villar, Marco Villar, and Kerry Cooley. So it's kind of like the company has kind of been there. It's kind of just changed hands. And I think as it's changed hands, each person has kind of got a position in the newly formed company or something along those lines. Alnos USA LLC delivered 100% of its membership units to Mipolpe. Okay. And speaks about the share there, and they paid, Victor Panada paid Chris 120,000 for it. And they got cash, equity, security, promissory note. Yeah, interesting. I guess you guys can read more in detail and understand the full story. But it seems to be all three of them have some kind of history with this company in terms of management and transferring it and things like that. All right, let's go and check out the trading view charts. And let's do some technical analysis on this. Let's come out. So this is our trading view setup. It's our special focus on investing template with our focus on investing indicators. If you want to get access to these indicators and these charts and these templates, then go to focusoninvesting.io. All right, let's get into this. So first off, let's start with the monthly time frame, where we like to kind of take a look historically at the charts. So if we go back, they got quite a bit of history. Let's zoom out. Where are we? Yeah. All right. So we see our typical bit of volatility in the beginning whenever we know that a company gets issues to market. We know that there's a lot of volatility, as we always speak about the cashing in of shares and the buying of shares as it went into the market. So it reached its high point or its peak of 3499.4215, around that area. And this was on in March 2008. Since then, the stock has completely tanked to the low side. Let's zoom in a bit more. See if we get a bit more scale. Yeah, so this has kept going down, 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 down. If we keep going forward, slight little peaks. We're looking at a peak in October 2017 to September 2018. Flatlined again. And then we go to our most recent time where there seems to be some sort of activity. Now, I'm going to assume that this activity is here simply because of the merger and acquisition, right? So probably these little spikes in before seems to be maybe some news possibly even announcing bits about the merger and acquisition, right? So maybe this stock is very sensitive to new news about it, right? So since then we've seen, quite a bit of growth with it's reaching its high around the 0.0157 level. That was when its peak was, and then since then it's kind of price is kind of fallen down, but it's received a level of support here. Let me change this to red. Represent our support level. I know it's not super easy to see, but yeah, you can see that there's a level of support around the 0.026 level. We're actually trading above that. We're actually trading at 0.0035. So price is trading just above support. We can see that price came down. Let me get my arrow. Where are we? I have to remember where we. No, I checked. Oh, it's this one. Yeah. So we can see that price came down, bounced off of this level of support, and then came back up again. And came back up again. So we're seeing a bounce of price, off of support level, and then price rose up, and then price kind of retracing itself, coming back to the low of last month. And we haven't reached that low yet, and even the low of last month is actually above our support level. So that's good news. We can see that we have our last year's high point was that spike that we saw of 0.0157, and last year's low point was here, or the previous year's low was 0.0003. All right, we can see that we're actually trading in between key pivot levels. We see there's a pivot level here around the 0.098 level, and then another pivot level here at the 0.01 level. So we're trading between pivot levels, and you can see that this pivot level was key in the bounce off of this body here. If you look here, the wick actually broke through, but by the close of the candle, you can see it retraced to just below this pivot level. So you see the importance of understanding pivot levels. If you want to learn a bit more about pivot levels, then go to focusoninvesting.io. Let's take a look at the weekly time frame. Here we have a look at the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we can see that we've had mostly green trend filter, and then since the 3rd of January, it's red trend filter. We saw a little spike of green here on our most recent spike, but since then the trend filter has gone back to red. And today, 22nd of August's bar for the week beginning 22nd of August, is also having a red trend filter. If we look at our moving averages, we can see that we have our 50 simple moving average. We're trading below that. However, this white line here is our 200 simple moving average, and we're trading above our 200 simple moving average. So essentially, we're above our 200-day average, but below our 50-day average price. All right. If we look at our key pivot levels, we can see that we have a few at the bottom, and this is really responding to these areas of support where prices bounced. Here, let's see the areas of bounce. We've had, we say, one here. Let's say maybe two here. It's a bit fuzzy there. You could even say maybe even a third one here. Let's say three. Let's say 4, 5, 6, around here, 7, around here, 8. Yeah, let's say about 8. So 8 in the most recent, since 2021 June. So maybe 18 months or so, just over. You've had 8 bounces. So that shows you the strength of this support level. So this is why we're seeing a lot of pivot levels as well around this area, because there's a certain level that this, stock seems to, react at, which is the 0.0026 level. Having said that as well, we're also having a few green pivot levels above price. Um, our closest one is here. Let's draw it in. See that that's at 0.0052. So that's our next kind of pivot level, and that's representing this kind of channel that we had. We had a little bit of a channel. Let me draw the channel in. Oh, we got here. We had a little bit of a channel here when it comes to price. We saw a little bouncing of support and resistance back and forth, and that's created quite a few pivot levels at this price of 0.052. And again, we've seen this channel here as well. If we look again, now we're starting to see, certain levels at which this stock reacts at. We see another channel here. So currently we're in a bit of consolidation. If you have a keen eye, you can see this consolidation here. If I can bring that down, you can see the consolidation where after we had our massive spike, probably after the news, we saw the price fell to our support level. It bounced back up to our resistance. Let's draw this in. We've got down to support, up to resistance, back down to support. We actually got a break and close above resistance. But again, this was a fake out because price didn't continue to go on, and then price ended up coming back down below the support level, and we can see it heading back down. Um, so we can see that we're at, this, it seems to really react in this sort of channel here, and it made a first attempt to break out of the channel, but was unsuccessful. Let's go to our daily time frame. On our daily time frame, our current trend filter is red, which matches the weekly trend filter. So we have an overall trend filter of red. If you want to get access to the trend filter, then go to focusoninvesting.io. We can see that if we look at our moving averages, we can see that we are trading below the 20 simple moving average. So it's ordered 20 simple moving average, 200 simple moving average, 50 simple moving average, and then price. Price is just swooped underneath our moving averages from, the 2nd of August. It's come down and come trading below our moving averages. If we look at our pivot levels on the daily time frame, again, we've got pivot levels just below our level of support and pivot levels just above our levels of resistance. And what's interesting, and again, why pivot levels are key, if we draw it in, this pivot level here in green, what do we notice? If you've got a keen eye, let me use this and utilize this arrow. If you've got a keen eye, you can notice that when we had our fake out, the point at which the fake out returned was at this pivot level, right? So you can see how strong this pivot level is for this stop. And this pivot level is really representing this area here. Let me draw it in here. It's really representing this area here. We had, a number of days, stuck at this level, going back and forth. And this is what's really created this strong pivot level. And the thing is, because we haven't broken that pivot level since, it's quite a strong one. If we see it here, we had a repeat breakout here. So this is kind of reinforced the pivot level. And then since here, we haven't had one. So this is why you see such a long dotted line in green, because it's representing this level and we haven't broken it back again for a second time. So when it finally does reach there, because it's been it's here and it's such a strong pivot level, prices failed to break that pivot level and it's ended up bouncing off of it And the rebound from the pivot level has thrown it back into our consolidation channel that we have here. And this is why you're seeing price currently trading not only in the consolidation channel, but also below our moving averages. If we look at our numbers, we can see that the stock is up 2.86% for the day. For the last day, it's actually down minus 2.78%. For the week, it's down 5.36%. So 5.26%. And for the month, we're down, is it 46.27%? And that's because of our spike here. So so my prediction would be, that this is gonna struggle in the channel for a little while. But as they're completing their merger and acquisition, if that becomes a successful brand, the company becomes successful, and we start seeing some, growth with that company, then I think that we can. Let me zoom out a little bit, give me some space. I think that, if we get enough energy and momentum from that company, we could maybe get the energy to break not only the support level, but now we're looking at this pivot support level, which is here. This is going to our high. We've reached this high recently, it's a recent high. So it's more than feasible for us to reach that again. Again, we've managed to previously hit this level. So if we had a little bit more energy and broke it, gone to here, the next space to be filling and the next target of price would be for price to end up here. So this is actually this zone here is actually a potential profit zone, right? Between, let me draw in the pivot level. So if we manage to break out of this channel, we meet our first boss, which is this pivot level, and then we can grow through this pivot level, break through the pivot level, then we have all of this space to our most recent high as profit. All of this is our profit level. All right. So that's our review of Infrax Systems. Again, like, subscribe, and share if you haven't done so. And again, if you have any stocks that you would like me to review, then leave it in the comments and I'll try and do my best to review it for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Peace.